you want to hold one?
Sure.
So this one right here is the female. Okay. And she just molted, which means that her skin is extra pretty. This is the one that hasn't eaten since November. She ate last week. So she hadn't eaten for 6 months. And I would put a rat in there and they wouldn't do anything until last week.
Holy cow.
She ate last week?
She did, yeah. This is Indiana Jones.
You got him?
Yeah.
And what you want to do, okay, is if you want to feed them, we don't feed them in here because when you open the cage and grab them, then they think there's food. So I always feed them in a different container for when you get a snake when you're older. Okay?
Oh, Joey's gonna be so sad that he's gonna miss this.
Yeah, you just film it. All right.
So this is Indiana Jones?
So you
No,
have
that's
the whole,
Nagini.
like,
Nagini?
Nagini. Oh, Harry Potter nerd.
Nagini.
When my dad says.
Mommy,
Yeah,
This is so heavy.
they are happy.
Oh, watch.
So she'll get a little. She wants to escape, but once she realizes there's food in her cage.
Hey.
So I only ever touch the rat with my right hand, and then you'll know when she realizes that there's food in the cage. She does want to get out.
She's the one that just ate though, right?
Oh, you're going to feed the one that just
But
ate?
she eats a lot better than he does.
Well, I can see that. She doesn't act very...
She must be on a diet. She's trying to slim her figure.
It means she can't, because they can't jump. They don't have feet. So their neck has to
Help
be
them.
bent before you can attack. She's just trying to get out. She's not even acting hungry at all.
Why don't
You
you
wanna
feed,
try
why don't you
putting
feed the old
Indiana
boy
Jones
that
in
hasn't
Yeah,
eaten
we
for
can.
6 months?
Me for this.
You are a real man. He may or may not. We'll see.
Why hasn't he been?
That's so crazy
Hungry.
that he can go so long.
He got bit by one of the rats, like just a little nibble, and I don't know if that like psyched him out
He's been traumatized.
or what happened, but I need some popcorn or something. I usually put like some rat food right here, and then he eats that while they scope it out.
Well, they eat him.
Oh, he's acting like he's interested but doesn't know what to do about it.
Boy, how would they ever make it in the wild?
I like you.
Yeah, so how do they live in the wild? That's the question. Do you know how they live in the wild? That's the big one. Girls
I'm
are
not
bigger than
holding
boys when it
any
comes to
'cause
pythons.
I don't want my hands to smell stinky.
Yeah? The male that I gave the one student, it bit her. She stuck her hand, from what she told me, she thinks that, and the reason,
He's biting the snake.
so the reason that sorry, I can't talk and not.
Well, he's scared.
Oh, look at his face.
He doesn't like it. What was
She
I
might
saying?
have to start feeding him frozen. Is there a time
How
day
can he go 6 months without eating and not want to just thump that thing?
Whoa, that's a little frightening.
I don't know.
Well, they don't
They-
expend a lot of energy.
They don't, yeah, they're not like us, so they don't need to eat constantly to keep their.
Hey, Sage, did you remember how we were talking about cold-blooded and warm-blooded? What do you think?
Oh, did you get it?
I did. I got it.
Did you see how quick he just took that?
Did you see it? Oh, shoot.
Did you see it, Nevaeh?
So,
Did you see him hit it?
most people think that when the rat is killed, that it coils around it to suffocate it, meaning to make it so it can't breathe anymore. But the reason that they squeeze is to force the heart, all the blood into the heart so that the heart will stop. And so once the heart is stopped beating, then the snake knows that it's dead, and then he'll eat it.
You don't want to stick your hand
so
in there right
he's
now,
not
though.
suffocating it. He's just trying to kill
He's-
it in a different way.
Trying to stop its heart.
Whoa.
So
I didn't know that.
that was pretty. That's pretty cool. And also, they have, how many teeth do you have? Do you know? This snake has teeth on bottom, and then another set of teeth on bottom, and then teeth, and they're curved backwards, so that when the snake goes down, it can kind of help the rat go in. And they always eat the rat from the head first. So the very last thing that it's going to eat is going to be the tail. And you'll watch that, and it takes like 5 minutes.
For that. Oh, Sadie, here you go.
See, now he's releasing it.
I like
Now
the
you have to
two
be
earrings
very
if you
still.
have some.
What's cool about snakes is that they don't have eyelids, so you can't tell if they're sleeping or not because their eyes always look open. So as long as you guys don't move right now, because he's looking around to make sure that there are no predators that are going to steal his rat or anything else, and once he finds that once he looks around and he realizes that everything's fine, hey, don't move, hon, then he's going to start eating, starting at the nose, and then you guys can do whatever you want. You can, what's the big difference between snakes and reptiles is that snakes don't have ears. They don't have ears, and lizards
Yeah.
do.
So they
Hey,
can't
thank you so
hear
much.
anything.
Didn't take that long, did it?
No, it didn't. That's the one that hasn't eaten in like 6 months since November. So how many months is that? Almost 7.
Sadie, this part's cool because you get to watch how big his mouth can get.
Yeah, and your mom knows all about that.
I know.
Mom, how come?
Some about. He doesn't have, like, he can unhinge his jaw, right? Yeah. It's just crazy how his skin stretches, though. You know, like the scales. There's so much space in there. Have you guys ever had the Wild Wonders people come?